sit back. I want to tell you about Julian Heicklen. He's a retired chemistry professor from Pennsylvania State University. He has been indicted by a grand jury on a charge of jury tampering for giving out fully informed jury association pamphlets to people entering a court building. Julian has had a long career as a freedom activist and a history of being arrested, having participated in the civil rights movement and marijuana re-legalization sit-ins since the 1960s. Julian is a fearless and dedicated advocate for the principle of jury nullification, which is the lawful option of a jury to find an accused party not guilty, even if the law says otherwise. Jury nullification rests at the heart of a free society and a just judiciary. Julian Heicklen, welcome to the Global Freedom Report.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And actually, before we do anything, I want to share with the listeners a piece that you apparently wrote about yourself. And perhaps this will give you more of a sense of my guest than anything else. Julian Heicklen was born at an early age. At 8 days, he was circumcised. He found this to be so traumatic that he did not walk or talk for a year. There was nothing unusual about his childhood. After graduating from high school, he went to Cornell University to become an engineering nerd. Unfortunately, while in high school, his uncle had bought a book about the U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence for him. To complicate matters, he read Les Miserables by Victor Hugo and The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand while at Cornell. As a result, he was transformed from an engineering nerd into a freedom maniac. His behavior became socially unacceptable. He stole a house, won the Yom Kippur War for Israel, carried on a correspondence with Soviet Premier Yuri Andropov, tried to sue the U.S. Post Office, and smoked marijuana every Thursday at noon for 3 years in front of the main gate of Penn State University and the Center County Courthouse. He had the State College noise ordinance declared unconstitutional, and he has been arrested 30 times and incarcerated 9 times. His wife and daughters want to commit him to an old age home. However, he prefers to go to prison, where he gets free room, board, and medical care. In addition, he gets health club for 1 hour a day and something he could never afford, around-the-clock police protection. Besides, the people in the prison are more interesting than those in the old age home. All right, Julian, that's wonderful. That's far better than any introduction I could ever give you.
What?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't hear what you said.
I said that is far better than any introduction I could ever give you.
Thank you.
And I salute you for that. Before we get into the nut of this discussion, I understand, originally I thought you were a Diamond Life Master. I understand you've just been awarded a Platinum Life Master in the game of bridge. Is that
right? I just found out yesterday.
Well, congratulations. As an amateur player, I'm curious, what exactly does that mean?
Well, that means that I've reached the plateau of 7,500 master points, and I've had some wins in certain high-level events.
Now, I'm just curious. Now, I'm a chess player from way back. I was rated at one point, and I have been associated with various masters, senior masters, and even grandmasters, and frequently they get bored with chess because they're so good that there's nothing else to do. Does that happen to you? Getting to be so proficient at bridge?
Oh, no, it can't happen because there's a certain amount of luck in it, and it also depends, statistics, and then it also depends on what your partners do. Besides, there's 2 reasons that I really enjoy playing bridge. The first is that it gives me the aggravation I crave. And the second is that I found it's the only socially acceptable way to torture women.
Oh God! Oh, that's excellent. Oh, I love that. Thank you very much. I'm gonna write that one on my wall of phrases, shall we say? All right, let's talk about this now. You've been indicted by a grand jury for jury tampering, apparently for handing out FIJA, Fully Informed Jurors Association brochures at a courthouse. Firstly, where did your alleged offense take place? In what city and at which court building?
So it's in New York City, in Manhattan, and it was at the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York in Manhattan.
Oh, New York City. Oh, you picked a place to do it. Fantastic. All right. So tell us what happened. I mean, you're standing there outside a courthouse, which presumably is public property, and you're out there passing out these pamphlets, and then what? A cop approached you, or what happened?
Yeah, well, I've been there 12 times, and I've been approached all 12 times. Anyway, I went there the first time. I started passing it out, and a Homeland Security officer came to me and said, do you have a permit to be here? Actually, a federal marshal came first. He said, I see you're passing out stuff. Do you have a permit to be here? He says, you have to have a permit. So I said, of course I have a permit. And I whipped out my Constitution and got him the First Amendment. And he told me that wouldn't cut it, that I would have to leave. So I ignored him. So he left, and then they sent over the police. And the police informed me that I would have to leave, and I informed them that I wouldn't have to leave. And sooner or later, they placed me under arrest, and they took my all my literature and whatnot. And as soon as they place me under arrest, I fall onto the ground, and I lie there. And they sort of hang around for a little while, not knowing what to do. And meanwhile, people are coming out and asking questions and coming to me, are you all right, and what's going on? So finally, they call an ambulance, and they take me to a hospital for extraordinary rendition. And it's not necessary to be sent to Syria. They do the same job at Bellevue or the New York City Hospital.
Wait. Pardon me.
St. Joseph's Hospital.
Pardon me. You need to explain that. Extraordinary rendition?
Yeah. Anyway, I've been to 7 hospitals so far that they've sent me to, and I've been in court twice. What I've had happen to me so far, I've been sodomized. They beat on my chest all the time to make them black and blue. It usually takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks for that to go away. They poke my fingers and poke them with needles and squeeze them. They dusted my left eyeball, which is the only eye that I can see out of. I've had twice 4 attendants throw me on the floor, pin me down, and they put Thorazine shots into me. They put a plug up my nose, which may not sound like much, but that's the most painful thing they did to me. That's terribly painful.
Now, wait, why are they doing? Why have they done this?
Why have they done this? Because as soon as I'm placed under arrest, I exercise my Fifth Amendment right to remain quiet. And I stay quiet, and I won't talk to anybody. So they send me to the hospital, and they claim they're checking to see if I'm all right. So, in fact, everybody knows exactly what's going on, especially after the 7th time. And so they continue to do what they call routine medical exams. They also take my blood pressure and my temperature and my pulse and all the other usual stuff. But they get in as much torture as they possibly can.
Now, I want to clarify some things. First off, you mentioned initially a Homeland Security, then you said a U.S. Marshal. Did the Marshal identify himself like, I'm a U.S. Marshal?
The Marshal identifies himself. They ask him to.
And what about the police?
Security people, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I mean, when I sued them, I sued 4 marshals whose name I knew and 4 John Does whose name I now have because the U.S. Attorney has given me their names and addresses.
And I know
I did not know that until the lawsuit started.
Yeah, you do that as a John Doe. Now, okay, when they arrested you, what at the time did they tell you what they were charging you with?
Yes, they charged me with distributing literature on federal property without a permit.
Okay, now, at what point did you realize that you were actually going to be indicted for jury tampering or any other charge?
Well, initially, I was charged on 7 counts of distributing literature without a permit. I wrote a brief to the court, and the U.S. Attorney, after seeing that brief, notified the court that they were dropping the case. They dismissed the case. Okay, so you're free. They had no case. Then you're free to go. Yeah, well, I wasn't incarcerated. I was home. But anyway, so they dropped that case. Then on January 11th, I had 3 court police officers, federal police officers, come to my door and give me a summons, and the summons is now charging me for jury tampering.
Now, wait a minute. Federal police officers? You mean U.S. Marshals?